We have been in very much thought and prayer over this whole period. A lot of times we were asked, what would it take to call this thing off? We have thought it over many times. We felt very convinced that we should do this. We thought about what would have to happen for us to call our event off. As we prayed about that, in the past we did have one idea. Did this idea we put out in prayer to God, that if He would want us to call this off, if we have accomplished our goal, then our thought was the American people do not, as a whole, want the mosque at the ground zero location. That if they were willing to either cancel the mosque at the ground zero location, or if they were willing to move that location, if they were willing to move it away from that location, we would consider that a sign from God. We have, or he has, been in contact with the Imam in New York City. With the Imam here, I will be flying up there on Saturday to meet with the Imam at the Ground Zero Mosque. He has agreed to move the location. That, of course, cannot happen overnight, but he has agreed to move that. We felt that would be a sign that God would want us to do it. The American people do not want the mosque there, and of course Muslims do not want us to burn the Koran. The Imam has agreed to move the mosque. We have agreed to cancel our event on Saturday, and on Saturday I will be flying up there to meet with him.
Good afternoon. Thank you, and thank you, Pastor Jones. We all have been witnessing this play out for several weeks, and many of you know that in few hours the Muslim world would be celebrating the Eid al-Fitr festival, the end of the month of Ramadan, and hundreds of millions of people would be listening to sermons, and the message that would have dominated those sermons would have been the burning of the Quran in the United States. I have conveyed my deep concerns to Pastor Jones and the gravity of the situation, and because he does not like to see anyone get hurt because of an action being taken here, and because I, like many Americans, Muslims and non, feel that the placement of a mosque near the ground zero location is unnecessary, and it has become a clear provocation to many people to be violent against mosques across the nation. I have made this morning contact with the office of Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf and got a commitment to fly up to New York and meet with him in the company of Pastor Jones to discuss and come to a decision on relocating the mosque in New York. We are committed to dissolving the situation here and there. I want to thank Pastor Jones for his courage and his willingness to take these serious events that are unfolding, to take into consideration the safety of our troops across the world and the safety of all Americans traveling or doing business abroad, and to also consider the safety of all people, including Muslims, and to step back from his position and to be in line with Scripture, to love your neighbor as yourself. And I want to thank him and his church members and his leadership for making the decision today to diffuse the situation and bring to a positive end what has become the world over a spectacle that no one would benefit from except extremists and terrorists who would have used this to recruit even more young people, impressionable people, to become future radicals. I want to send a message today to the Muslim world that the United States still and will always be the place where people of all faith and all colors can coexist in peace, that the rights of Muslims in this country are respected, and that of all other religions. As American Muslim leader, I believe that this is the best place to live on earth. And I feel strongly about that. I want the Muslims on this day, when they're going to celebrate one of the holiest days in the year in our calendar, Eid al-Fitr, that the country we call home, the United States of America, is a wonderful country, and its people are the finest people. And we call on all Muslims around the world to follow the teachings of Muhammad and the Quran, and to stop the hatred and radicalism that has given our religion a bad name. I stand for Islam, I stand for peace, and I call on my brothers and sisters the world over to stand with me in the face of all radicals. This event was not meant for all of this, but I'm glad that it has resulted in a good outcome. I want to thank you again, and Pastor Jones has expressed his desire to return back to his church without answering questions, and I respect his wish. I'll be available for answering questions in 5 minutes. Thank you.